All right, we will get started. I would like to thank you so much for joining today to learn how you can save money on an EV with our EV discount campaigns. My name is Annika Osborne, and I'm with Cool the Earth. We're an environmental nonprofit with a mission to reduce carbon emissions and air pollution. While we are big fans of walking, biking, carpooling, public transit, with our Ride and Drive Clean collaboration, we work to advance the adoption of electric vehicles, both EVs and e-bikes, in a fair and just marketplace. I'd like to thank Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy for sponsoring this webinar and our upcoming September EV discount campaign. So here's our agenda for today. We'll talk about the benefits of driving electric. We'll do a deep dive into EV incentives, including our EV discount campaigns and the federal tax credit, or the clean vehicle tax credit, which is actually a rebate, not a tax credit, which is really nice. We'll do an EV showcase, and then we'll talk about how to EV, including charging with clean energy. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. And we'll be going over a lot of information today, but not to worry. We'll be sending a follow-up email with this presentation and some handy links later today. And if any questions come up, feel free to raise your hand or ask them in the chat, and we'll answer them throughout the presentation. I have Sienna from Cool the Earth, from my organization, who will be taking questions in the chat as well. And yeah, we'll make sure all of your questions are answered during the Q&A session at the very end. So there are many benefits to driving electric. In California, our passenger vehicles are the single largest source of GHG emissions, often representing 50% of our individual carbon footprint. So when we switch from gas to an EV and plug into clean energy like we can do here in the Bay Area, we are taking impactful climate action by reducing carbon emissions and air pollution, both which disproportionately impact our priority communities. And while driving electric is better for the planet, there's no sacrifice when we go electric. EV drivers save time, money, and enjoy an improved driving experience. Yes, indeed. EVs are a little more fun to drive. What I really like is the extra torque or power that you have when you drive an EV. I can quickly accelerate when I'm getting on the freeway and easily maneuver between lanes. The quiet and smooth drive makes for great conversations when you're on a road trip. And with all of the additional safety features and sensors on these high-tech cars, EVs are some of the safest cars available. So before I talk about the total cost of ownership, I'd like to address the current lay of the land in terms of EVs and pricing. So the implementation of tariffs is causing a lot of uncertainty in the EV market for all auto manufacturers. And this is currently already impacting pricing and inventory on new EVs. And we're seeing the price increases trickle down into the used EV market as well. So the federal clean vehicle tax credit for new and used EVs is currently still available, but the last day to use it is September 30th. So we believe now is a good time to buy or lease an EV, and Ride and Drive Clean is here to help you go electric. Okay, back to the total cost of ownership. So while some early EV drivers paid a high premium for driving electric, today's EV drivers actually save money. And here are some reasons why. It costs much less to fuel an EV than to put gas into a car. Fueling a gas car can be 2 to 5 times more expensive than fueling an EV, depending upon where and when you charge it. And maintenance costs are 40% lower for fully electric EVs. It's basically adding windshield wiper fluid and rotating your tires. And then there are incentives available, which can bring down the total, down the cost of purchasing or leasing an EV upfront. So we'll dive into incentives. So there are currently 4 types of incentives that can help you when you buy or lease certain EVs. Ride and Drive Clean is offering there are discount campaigns in August and September. So we realized early on when we started doing this work about 8, 9 years ago that price was a big barrier for a lot of people in going electric. The price has come down significantly as battery price has come down quite a bit in the last several years. But nonetheless, people still like to have a good deal on an EV. So we decided to organize these discount campaigns. We partner with a car concierge service called Cartelligent. And at certain times of the year, when they are able to negotiate special discounts with dealers on certain EVs, we run our EV discount campaigns. So we currently have one going on right now. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And we're going to be offering another one with the funders of this webinar starting in September. The federal tax credit or clean vehicle credit is available as a rebate at point of sale, and you don't need any tax liability for this rebate. There's a pre-owned rebate also for 30% of the cost of a used EV up to $4,000. And finally, when you lease an EV, there's a commercial credit that can be applied to many EVs, and there are no restrictions or no requirements at all. So currently, leasing a new EV seems to be something that is very popular. In fact, I think I saw 4 out of 5 EV people getting EVs are leasing. We'll talk a little bit more about leasing versus buying a little bit later in the webinar. But unfortunately, this federal clean vehicle tax credit or rebate is ending on September 30th. So whether you purchase a new or a used EV or lease a new EV, the prices are going to be higher after September 30th. So there are some California state grants available for residents with lower incomes. The Drive Clean Assistance Program is available for $7,500. And Clean Cars for All has actually used up all their funding, but they're coming back again with a new round of funding later this month or early in September. It's a retire and replace program, so you have to retire a 2007 or older car, and you can get up to $12,000 for that, when you exchange that car. So these are both grants, and you have to apply for these grants and receive them in hand before going to purchase your EV. You cannot take advantage of these after you've gotten an EV. So apply if you think you may qualify for these grants. Apply quickly, early, as soon as you can, and see if you can get it in time to take advantage of all of these other stacked rebates. And then there are local incentives for low to moderate incomes. So all of the CCAs or the clean energy providers who are funding our webinar, Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, Silicon Valley Clean Energy, all have additional rebate programs. They tend to be more lower income rebates. And PG&E has a pre-owned EV rebate. So only for used EVs, $1,000 for anybody who gets a bill from PG&E, and $4,000 if your income qualifies. So I've listed a savings calculator here, and it's a good idea for everyone to check out that savings calculator, put in your zip code, your household income, and find out exactly what you qualify for, because it does depend upon where you live and your income. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little more about our EV discount campaign. With our partner Cartelligent, we have literally helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars on EVs over the past 6 years. So here's how it works. Ride and Drive Clean organizes the campaign and offers education like today's webinar. We actually have the sign up on our website, our Ride and Drive Clean website. Sienna, maybe you could drop that in the chat. And Cartelligent handles the purchase or lease transaction. So what we do is first we'll fill out, anybody interested will fill out and submit a form on the Ride and Drive Clean page. A Cartelligent advisor will contact you within 24 hours to review models and the discount campaign pricing. You will then confirm your preferred trim, color, and pricing. And if you're interested in purchasing one of the cars included on the discount campaign, the Cartelligent fee is waived. It's typically $600. It's a service fee because they do all the negotiating for you. So Cartelligent will find great options for you to choose from, and then you can pick your EV based on the options that they've given you and have it delivered to one of Cartelligent's California locations. So when you pick up your car, you typically sign the contract, and you will also get a personal car tutorial. Okay, so if you go to our website, Ride and Drive Clean, and you go up to this area that says Save Money, the first item is EV discount campaign. So our current campaign is going to be going on through August 31st with these 4 EVs and with this pricing. And we'll have another discount campaign launching the first week of September. So here we have the 4 featured vehicles: the Cadillac Lyriq, the Honda Prologue, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Volkswagen ID4. So what you can see here is, for example, with the Honda Prologue, the discount that we're offering during our discount campaign is this exclusive discount off MSRP. In this case, it's $2,500. It's $3,500 for the Lyriq, $2,000 for the Ioniq 5, and $6,500 on the Volkswagen ID4. So that's a special discount that you get when you go through Cartelligent if you go through our discount campaign. In addition, there are other incentives. So for this Honda Prologue, there's a lease rebate of $16,500. Included in that is the federal tax credit, but they also have additional lease rebates. Now, if you own a car that's kind of a competitor to Honda, you might qualify for the Conquest rebate for $3,500. And if you actually own a Honda, you don't even have to get rid of it. You would get the loyalty rebate. So you can qualify for either the Conquest or the loyalty. Now, if you decide to purchase or finance your EV, there's that clean vehicle rebate, that federal tax credit for $7,500 that you would stack with the exclusive discount of $2,500 for a savings of $10,000. And if you also qualify for the Conquest or the loyalty, you'll get an additional $3,500. So that's just an example. And we will be launching this September. Sorry, let me go back. This is the example. This is where the featured cars are. And this is where you sign up. So you will fill out this form. If you are ready to have Cartelligent call you, you're ready to get an EV this month, you are interested in one of these 4 EVs that are being offered right now, you click the button yes, fill out this information, select which EV you're interested in. And if you want to get a different EV, that's okay too. They can help you get any EV or plug-in hybrid. But they will waive their service fee on these 4 featured models. And then if there's any other information you would like to add, you can add it here. Like, let's say you have a trade-in or you're not sure, you have any specific questions, you can just add that information here, and that will help the Cartelligent advisor have a little bit of information before they reach out. We will be offering this other EV discount campaign in September. So we will be launching this other page, and this is where we will be featuring the EVs. And for now, if you're interested in our September campaign, you can sign up here. And once you get once we know which cars will be featured and the pricing, we will send you an email so you can sign up as quickly as possible. Okay, make sure after you fill this out, you hit the submit button. So yes, we just talked about these 4 EVs that are on have a special exclusive discount for the month of August. Okay, I want to now talk a little bit more about the clean vehicle credit, the federal tax credit for purchasing a new EV. The credit amount is $7,500. It is given to you as a point of sale rebate at the dealership. This is if you are purchasing or financing a new EV. No tax liability. There are some income caps though, and that's tough for some people who live in the Bay Area. And, some other requirements, only certain EVs qualify. The final assembly has to be in the US. There are battery requirements. The dealer does have to be registered with the IRS, and you will leave the transaction with a seller's report that you will use when you eventually file your taxes. Again, the last day for this is September 30th. And these are the EVs that are currently available for the federal tax credit that currently qualify. So as I'm looking at these, we can also see the ones that qualify for the federal for our discount campaign. We have that Cadillac Lyriq. We have the Honda Prologue and the Hyundai Ioniq 5. So those will get the discount, our special exclusive discount through our discount campaign, as well as the federal tax credit. This is the website that lists all of the different EVs that are available, the ones that I have on the slide now. But as you can see, there are many EVs that qualify for the federal tax credit if you purchase. And if there's an EV that you want that's not on here, it will probably qualify for the lease credit. So you will get that $7,500 when you lease. All right, I'm going to do just a little bit of information here about the federal tax credit for pre-owned EVs, because some of you may be interested. It's 30% of the sale price up to $4,000 maximum, point of sale rebate. As you'll notice, the income cap here is half of the amount as the amount for getting a new EV. There's also an EV requirement. The vehicle has to be a 2023 model year or older. I'm so happy that lots of people are interested in our webinar today. Yes, again, the dealer must be registered with the IRS and the owner can't be claimed as a dependent. Again, this ends September 30th. So it's great that you guys are at this webinar today so that you can learn all about it and start thinking about which EV you're interested in. So at this point, I am going to be doing an EV showcase with a bunch of slides with lots of different EVs, just to give you an idea of all the different EVs available. This is also good to help you sort of decide if you haven't done any test driving yet. This is a good time to start test driving these cars so that you know which one you want before the federal tax credit goes away. So with so many different EVs and all of the benefits to driving electric, the question is really which EV is the right one for you? There is truly an EV for every lifestyle and budget. When I started doing this work about 7 or 8 years ago, there were only 10 EVs on the market. Now there are over 100, so things have changed significantly. Most fully electric EVs offer 250 to 350 miles of range. So you can go from San Jose to Tahoe with maybe just one 15-minute charging break. And on your way home, you may not have to stop to charge at all because EVs have something called regenerative braking. So when you are not accelerating, you're actually charging your battery. So that's a nice bonus. Before I get started, I'd like to note that the average price of a new car in the United States this year is $48,000. So there are many EVs that come in way below the average price. And then, once you add up all of the savings that you can get, all the different incentives, significantly lower. So the Nissan Leaf has been around since 2011, and many people are still driving their early model Nissan Leafs. Now with maybe a limited range, but they're still great for around the town and small errands kind of thing, and regular commutes. The good news is the 2026 Nissan Leaf will be coming out next month, and it has a range of 300 miles. So they've revamped the very popular Nissan Leaf. It happens to be on this slide with smaller, great value EVs. So it is nice if for parking and, if you live in the city or go to the city often, it's pretty nice. The Hyundai Kona and the Kia Niro have been around since 2019, and they are sort of sister companies, so they sit on the same platform. Both of these cars have been revamped in the last year or two, so that's really nice. Here are some bigger, great value EVs. In fact, the Chevy Equinox EV is the best value in town, really. It has a nice long range and a low starting price, and it does qualify for the federal tax credit as well if you purchase or lease. This is the Volkswagen ID4 was the first of many from the ID4 brand. Of course, now you've probably seen the Volkswagen ID Buzz, the microbus, that's also part of their electric lineup. The the Ford Mustang Mach-E is a super popular car. People love their Mach-Es. It's one of the more popular EVs out there. It has a really nice frunk, so you can store lots of extra stuff in your frunk. I've seen it also at tailgate parties. You can fill it with ice, and there's a nice little drainage hole. So, we like to have sparkling waters and waters at our events when we're showcasing this EV. So the Kias and the Hyundais on this slide all have bidirectional batteries. So they offer something called vehicle to load capabilities. So you can power a refrigerator or a large appliance with the energy that's in the car battery for a week or so if the power goes out. So that's a really nice advantage. If you have one of these EVs, there's no need for a gas generator at home. And they're really great for zero emissions camping if you like to camp. I do, and it's so nice. I can just bring my induction cooktop, my little plate that was very affordable, and my electric kettle, and I'm pretty much set to go. No more bringing my Coleman camping stove. In addition, these EVs offer very fast charging. So on a road trip, they can charge from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes, just enough time to stretch your legs and get something to drink. So the Kia EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5 both qualify for the federal tax credit. And the Ioniq 5 is on our discount campaign. I did hear from Cartelligent that inventory is getting a little bit low on the Ioniq 5. It's been a very, very popular car in the last 2 years. So if you're interested in this one, sign up for our August discount campaign for sure. All right, so with Tesla, we like to focus on the technology and the fast, easy, reliable public charging. People love their Teslas for these reasons. The Tesla app has the best technology really of any EV, so it's very easy to manage it remotely or, while you're, close to it even. The Model 3 and the Model Y are the most affordable models, and several trims qualify for the federal tax credit. These are efficient, safe cars, and the Model Y has an optional third row and seats 7 passengers. And both of these models have recently been updated in the last year or two. So I just want to bring this up while we're talking about Tesla. So the Tesla port, the charging port, is now the North American Charging Standard, or NACS, as people are calling it. And the good news, this is actually really great news, but Tesla is opening their supercharging network to allow all manufacturers to access their charging, which is really a game changer because Tesla has really built out their network throughout the United States. I drive to LA a lot, and there are so many Tesla supercharging stations on both sides of the freeway. Some of them have 50 charging ports. I've seen some with 100. So there's not so often a line when you have to charge if you're on a road trip. So currently about 12 different EVs can use an adapter to actually access the superchargers. So this is really, really good news. And in the next year, every manufacturer will have at least an adapter. Many are releasing their 2026 model years with the native Tesla port or the NACS port so that people can just plug in easily at the Tesla supercharging stations. So game changing, really great for equitable and accessible charging. All right, so here are some other very popular EVs in that mid-range, still very close to that $48,000 average car price. The Honda Prologue came out about a year and a couple months ago. They've sold so many models, 60,000 in the U.S. since then. The Polestar is a sister company of Volvo, so designed in Sweden and manufactured in China. That's a really well-appointed car and drives really well. The Audi Q4 e-tron, what I like about that is that it's about $20,000 cheaper than the regular e-tron, although I'm hearing there are some really good prices on used Audi e-trons. The Chevy Blazer is a higher end Chevy than the Equinox. Um, and I'm hearing that the lease pricing is competitive, like between the $200 and $400 a month, depending upon your credit card and credit score and such. But it's a higher end car, and they have really good lease deals now. Okay, so these are some higher end EVs. Don't let the starting price scare you away, because there are some amazing lease prices on these EVs as well. For example, the Lucid Air is with $2,500 down, $599 a month, which is very reasonable for this high-end car and a high-range car. It has the highest range of any EV, and it's the most efficient EV on the market. The Cadillac Lyriq is part of our discount campaign, and the rest of the three qualify for the federal tax credit, so that significantly reduces the cost. Okay, so if finding a parking spot is often on your mind, these EVs are something to consider. The Volvo EX30 came out last year, and it's very popular. Volvo says small in size, big on safety. The Fiat 500e is, in my opinion, the cutest car available, the cutest EV out there. It was very popular. It came out in 2017, so it was out for a couple years with a lower range, like around 100 miles. And they increased their range this year when they re-released it. But I've heard that they stopped making them. So I think people are more interested in longer range EVs. But if you have a set commute, or just this would be a second car, like an around the town car that you want to easily park somewhere, this is a great option. People love their Mini Coopers. Unfortunately, the EV model is delayed to 2027. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're looking for a bigger EV, here are a few options. The Kia EV9 qualifies for the federal tax credit, and it was voted the car of the year in 2024. I know a couple of people with this car, and people love it. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that ID. Buzz microbus. Super fun adventure car with lots of interesting features and functionalities that really enhance its usability for camping, road trips, and other outdoor activities. Comes in lots of fun, bright colors. And another adventure car is more in the SUV style, the Rivian R1S. So Rivian is going to be coming out with an R2S in the 2026 model year. So we'll be seeing that later this fall. It is going to be the starting price will be lower. And something that's cool about Rivian is that because they are kind of tailoring towards adventure folks, they have put in their own charging networks in a lot of national parks and far-reaching places. The Mercedes comes in at a really good price for a Mercedes. They're leasing this. I read an article leasing this around $350 a month. That's maybe for the lower end one, I would imagine. So these electric trucks are already on the market. They are basically generators at home and batteries on wheels on the road. The regular Ford F-150 is the most popular car in the United States and has been for decades. So we've seen the Lightning model has become very popular for people as well. The Silverado EV pickup truck is real popular as well and has some advanced towing technology. and up to 11 outlets. So you can take advantage of the energy that's in the battery of that car, all of these cars really, and power up appliances or tools for construction or landscaping. So that's real nice. Yes, so the Rivian has a truck version as well. It's a pretty cute truck in fun colors. And wow, close to 2 million people ordered the Tesla Cybertruck. I think the price, they've reduced the price on this one. I don't know how popular it is anymore. But I did test drive it. I'm not really a truck person, but it was kind of a novelty. So I was at a ride and drive event. I test drove it, and while it does look a little scary for me anyway on the outside, or interesting on the outside, driving it just felt like driving a regular Tesla, really smooth, and all four wheels move when you turn it, so a nice turning radius. And I just have one slide, because EVs now have such long range, they have become more popular than plug-in hybrids. But here are some of the most popular plug-in hybrids out there. Um, it really depends on your lifestyle and, what's going to work for you. But some of these, the Toyotas particularly, have a nice long electric range. I know a lot of people who rarely go to the gas station with their plug-in hybrids. If they can charge it at home or at work regularly, they're driving on electricity most of the time and saving that gas tank for road trips. All right. Well, this question often comes up when I do webinars, so I just wanted to touch on it briefly before I move on. So really, it's a personal financial decision. And here are some things to consider when you're deciding whether to buy or lease. So yeah, one of the greatest reasons to lease right now is that there are amazing lease deals available. I can't really tell you the exact pricing on lease because it depends on credit scores, and it's kind of an individual transaction. So you kind of need to find out how much the lease would be for you if you're interested. But we're certainly hearing that there are some lease deals in the $200 to $300 a month range with like $2,500 down. So really fabulous lease deals. A lot of people lease their EV and then buy it out. And with many EVs, you can buy it out shortly after you lease it. So that's another advantage. So yeah, and one of the reasons people like to lease, there is that down payment, but you'll have typically lower monthly payments. When you finance a car, your monthly payments are going to be typically higher. Although I'm hearing interest rates might come down in September a little bit. In contrast, the advantage of purchasing while there's a higher upfront cost is that once your loan ends, once you've paid off your loan, you own the car and you have no more payments. Oh yeah, if you don't qualify for the federal tax credit for purchasing an EV due to your income, or if there's an EV that you want that doesn't qualify because of all of the restrictions, there are no restrictions on the federal EV rebate if you lease. No income restrictions. It doesn't have to be manufactured in the US. So yeah, when you return a lease car, it's easy. You just return it. There are no resale worries. You don't have to wonder, what's the resale value going to be. But you do want to consider the mileage limit. So typically when you lease a car, you'll have to decide, do I want to lease it for $10,000 a year or $12,000 or $15,000? I've heard even $8,000 is available, just depending upon how much you drive it. So you have to stay under that amount. And there may be fees for excess wear, but I do know that you can typically pay upfront a small amount, and then they won't care if it's dinged up a little bit. What else? Oh yeah, when you're buying an EV, you can drive unlimited miles. Yeah, and if you decide to keep a car for many years, there could be long-term cost savings. But really, it's a personal decision. And if you do work with Cartelligent, you can ask them to give you pricing on purchasing financing, paying cash, financing, or leasing, just so you can have a good comparison. And if you do decide to lease and you want to potentially purchase it, you'll want to really find out what the residual value is so that you know what the buyout cost is going to be. Okay, Sienna, do we have any questions in the chat at this point, or can we move on?
Do you want to go over a little bit more about how the September campaign is going to work for the general public?
If you live in the service areas of Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy, you will have the exclusive discount on your EV, which stacks with all of these other incentives, including those clean energy providers' incentives and rebates. You'll have the transaction fee waived, and there will be no additional cost. But for people who live outside of those service areas, we will be charging a Cool the Earth, our nonprofit, will be charging a $500 fee if you live outside of the service area. This campaign will be available for people in our funded regions starting the first week of September, and to the general public the third week of September.
We do have another question in the chat. I already signed up with Cartelligent. Can I take advantage of your Ride and Drive Clean?
Oh, yes. Make sure if you signed up on our website, then you are already in the system marked as part of the discount campaign. But if you did not sign up on our website, just let your advisor know that you're part of the EV discount campaign with Ride and Drive Clean. Okay, so the next section of our webinar is about how to EV. And people do get worried about charging, but charging for most people is 80 to 90% of charging for most people takes place at home or at work. Charging at home is easy. You just plug in the charger that comes with your vehicle into a standard 120 volt outlet. There are no install costs besides perhaps a grounded heavy-duty extension cord. That's what we did when we first got an EV. It gives you between 30 and 40 miles of range in 8 hours. In the Bay Area, on average, people drive 25 miles a day. So this solution called Level 1 charging works out great for most people. If you drive more than 40 miles a day, a good option is to see if you can charge at work. And if that's not available, you may want to purchase a home charging station for Level 2 charging. You'll get about 25 miles in an hour, so you can easily get a full charge overnight. But I do want to point out that charging an EV is different from filling up a gas car. So when I had a gas car, I would, drive, wait till it went down to 1/8 tank. I would go to the gas station. I would drive for a week. I'd go to the gas station every week. But with my EV, I'm basically just topping off what I drove each day. So it's very different. And I have both Level 1 charging at home and Level 2 charging. 90% of the time, Level 1 charging works out great. Level 2 is typically, if I'm using Level 2, I'm really just charging for about an hour or an hour and a half to replenish what I have used that day. Once in a while, I drive down to the peninsula to visit my mom, and I come back with 20% of my charge, and then it's nice to charge on Level 2. But I can also charge on public fast chargers. So what we did for the first 2 years when we had an EV was we just had Level 1, an extension cord literally to an outlet. And then once in a while, we would go to the fast charging station and charge up if we needed to, but it was very rare. Charging away from home is easy as well. There are many Level 2 chargers available, so you can charge when you're around town, running errands. My favorite place for Level 2 charging in the public is at my farmer's market. I can just plug in for the hour that I'm buying my veggies, and I pay about $1 for 25 miles. So that's kind of nice, very affordable at that particular charge point station where I like to go. But when you're on a road trip Level 3 charging or fast charging is what you're after. And fast charging, level 3 charging gets you from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes or less. And yes, there are currently 3 standards for fast charging. We talked a little bit about this in this little image here with the three options. The one on the left is for Nissan Leaf. And this is the 2025 model year is the last model year that they are actually using this CHAdeMO system that they've had, but it is available on their their older models and other older Japanese vehicles. The one in the middle is the CCS standard. That's the one that most manufacturers have put into their EVs up until this point. The one on the right is the Tesla port, and this is now called the North American Charging Standard, or NACS. And this is the one that lots of EVs currently have adapters so that they can use the Tesla supercharging station, or they will be putting in that native port that looks just like that right one. It almost looks a little like an alien with the big eyes. Okay, so once you start driving electric, it's ideal to charge your EV with rooftop solar. There's a federal tax credit available through the rest of this year. If you're interested in solar and storage, I recommend signing up as quickly as possible because it takes some time to plan for that. And unfortunately, this federal tax credit is also going away, but this one is going away in December, while the EV credits are going away at the end of September. Anyway, it is a great feeling to charge your EV from the electricity that you generate from your own roof. For more resilience, you may want to consider a battery for storage. If you're not ready for solar, not to worry. Our CCAs are alternative energy providers, and our small utilities already offer clean energy, as well as affordable time of use rate plans. So while if you were getting your electricity from PG&E, they have about 36% renewables on their grid, many alternative providers have between 60 and 100% renewables in their mix of electricity. And for some of these rate plans, it's actually cheaper than PG&E. So depending upon where you live. They also have time of use rate plans. So if you get your bill from PG&E, it means you have the option of getting electricity from an alternative energy provider. And the time of use rate plans are from midnight to 3 p.m. So most of the time you get really good pricing if you're on the EV time of use rate. And if you charge your car from 4 to 9 p.m. and you're on one of these EV rate plans, it's twice as expensive. So they're really incentivizing you to get an EV and to charge on, during the off-peak charging times. So as we're talking about our alternative energy providers, I'd like to thank again our sponsors, Peninsula Clean Energy, San Jose Clean Energy, and Silicon Valley Clean Energy, for sponsoring this webinar and the September discount campaign. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what a CCA is, or a community choice aggregator is. CCAs were created when local governments decided they wanted more choice in where their energy comes from. So cleaner sources to meet their climate action goals. CCAs have been in the Bay Area since 2010, when MCE became the first to launch their CCA. Since then, the majority of SF Bay Area is now served by CCAs. Some have small utilities where they get their energy from, municipal utilities. In California, there are over 25 CCAs serving 14 million customers. So the Bay Area really led on this, and it's really kind of picked up steam throughout the state of California. Each CCA serves residents living in their service area. So PCE has San Mateo County and the city of Los Baños. San Jose Clean Energy has the city of San Jose. And Silicon Valley Clean Energy has most of Santa Clara County, minus the cities of San Jose, Santa Clara, and Palo Alto. And just to talk a little bit more about this movement, the CCA allows, we've talked already about, having more choice, but this kind of gives you a broader idea of the region and all of the different alternative clean energy providers available. They have generated set up more than 18 gigawatts of new solar, wind, energy storage, geothermal, and demand response resources. So having a really big significance on our grid and on our lives and on our reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, which is really the mission of all of these CCAs, as well as our nonprofit organization. Okay. So I'm going to do a slide for each of these CCAs, Peninsula Clean Energy. So they have a used EV rebate for $2,000. So for used EVs or plug-in hybrids, their income caps are similar to the income caps for the federal tax credit, and the federal tax credit for $4,000 can be stacked, as well as the PG&E rebate. So if you qualify for this rebate, you qualify for the $4,000 PG&E rebate as well. So lots of stacking going on, as well as our EV discount campaign that's going on right now. A little more information here. Yeah, the vehicle has to be 2023 or older. You can apply at participating dealers for the instant rebate, and that can take $2,000 off your down payment. Or at any dealer, you can just apply for a post-purchase rebate. So if you've already bought a used EV and you live in the PCE service area, you can actually probably claim that credit. All right, I'd like to introduce Patrick, who's going to talk about the San Jose Clean Energy EV Instant Rebate.
Thank you, Annika. This is a very exciting time to get an electric vehicle, as Annika already described. The EV discount with Ride and Drive Clean can be combined with our EV rebate. It's called the EV Instant Rebate because the price gets taken right off the sale price. The discount comes right off the sale price, just like the EV discount with Ride and Drive Clean. So combine those together, you're taking significant thousands and thousands of dollars off the sale price of your vehicle. And then that can also be stacked with the federal tax incentive credit. So all of that would come right off the sale price. So no doubt, September is the best month to get an electric vehicle in years. So we're launching our program September 1st. So in September, everyone who's already enrolled in CARE or FARA electricity bill assistance programs with the state are automatically approved for this program. Same for those who are enrolled in Clean Cars for All. So you would literally just go to a dealership with your electric bill. It has to be within 6 months. And then you'd show them that. They would have a quick lookup tool and they'd know within 5 minutes that you're good to go and you get this instant rebate at the dealership. So like I just mentioned, those can all be stacked together. So in September, you could get $23,500 off a new electric car with all those things taken into account. And it actually would be even more when you include ours. So it can even be higher than that, but depending on if you qualify perfectly for everything. But that's good for a purchase or lease. And our discount will apply to used vehicles as well. So if you wanted a used one, you would get $2,000 off the sale price instead of $4,000. But if you live in San Jose, you're likely our customer right now. You may not even know it, but you can scan this QR code here and we'll put you on an interest list so that when that rebate does become available, and we have our landing page up, which will be soon, we'll send you an email and you can be prepared to know what dealerships to go to. So that'll keep you informed on taking advantage of that. And once again, you can take advantage of that by going through the EV discount with Cartelligent. And they'll just make sure they're going through a dealership that works with our program too. And so you wouldn't actually have to even go to a dealership when you go through the EV discount here with Ride and Drive Clean. They would just stack it with ours. And then, so it would be a really smooth experience. So that's San Jose Clean Energy's program if you're in San Jose.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So for Silicon Valley Clean Energy customers, if you reside in the communities shown on this map, You receive your electricity from Silicon Valley Clean Energy and could qualify for this rebate. Silicon Valley Clean Energy provides $2,000 for any EV, plug-in hybrid vehicle, new, used, purchased, or leased. The vehicle purchase price has to be $55,000 or less. That aligns with the federal tax credit as well if you're purchasing a new EV. For this EV discount campaign, you can receive this rebate by applying after the purchase on Silicon Valley Clean Energy's website. It's a simple form, and once your application is approved, you'll get a check in the mail in approximately 4 weeks. Who doesn't want to get a check in the mail for $2,000? If you get an EV outside of this campaign, you can visit the Silicon Valley Clean Energy Partner dealership to get the rebate as a point of sale discount. And a list of participating dealerships is on the website. The income cap is 80% of the area median income of Santa Clara County. And you can, see a little bit of that information there and more information on their website. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like to charge an EV if you live in an apartment or a condo. And it's a really important thing to consider because 55% of people in California do live in apartments and condos. So there are some great solutions now and more are coming. So people charge by plugging into a standard 120 volt outlet if that's available. There are these new smart outlets that are an inexpensive solution to charging that also handles billing. So you kind of connect to this charging, the new smart outlet, and start your charging session on your phone, end it on your phone, and then you're connected already to a credit card. So you pay for it for what, the electricity that you used. Many people charge at work, and really during the pandemic, there was a lot of people, kind of ironically, because people weren't going to work, but a lot of companies were putting in EV charging. And since then, EV charging, workplace charging has only grown. If you don't have charging at your workplace, ask for it. The more people ask for it, the more likely you are to have it. A lot of other people charge at public fast charging stations. And some manufacturers even offer deals at point of sale, like free charging for 2 years. So that's something to inquire about. I know some people have gotten like 2 years of free charging at EVgo or Electrify America. So they definitely download those apps and use those public chargers as much as possible to save money. Really great on road trips as well as just your regular day-to-day charging. The nice thing about a lot of our charging stations is that they're located at shopping centers and places where you tend to park for for a while. So this makes it super convenient to charge while you're running errands. And I even have I've talked to several people who say they use their charging sessions as a time to kind of relax and read their book. They always keep a book in the car. So whatever works for you, there are many, many options. So a little bit more about road tripping. So taking a road trip is getting simpler all the time. There are thousands of public charging sites that provide fast charging, and using apps like PlugShare and a better route planner, it's easy to plan a trip and find charging stations along the way. Electrify America, EVgo, Tesla, and ChargePoint are some of the most popular charging networks that you would find here in the Bay Area. And those NACS supercharging stations are gradually becoming available to all EV models, like we discussed, and can be accessed with an adapter or directly with a native port. Okay, a little bit more about the support that Ride and Drive Clean is offering. So we have this August EV discount campaign going on right now. And for the general public, there is no additional charge to participate in this campaign, and the fee is waived. The Cartelligent fee is waived, as well as exclusive discounts and all sorts of stackable incentives. In September, we're offering another EV discount campaign, and those will be free for everybody who lives in the PCE, San Jose Clean Energy, Silicon Valley clean energy service areas. But if you live in a different area, you will be charged a $500 fee to our nonprofit to participate. We offer EV and e-bike expos. We are putting on an expo in Mitchell Park in Palo Alto tomorrow from 11 to 2. We'll have a bunch of e-bikes and I would say 12 to 15 EVs there. It's great to go to one place and check out a variety of EVs. We'll have 3 of the EVs on our current discount campaign. The only one that we won't have is the Cadillac Lyriq, unfortunately, but a whole variety of EVs. It's your opportunity to go sit in an EV, adjust the seat, see if it feels comfortable, look at the rear view mirror, make sure there are no blind spots for you, talk to owners and learn why they chose this EV and what they like about it. And then we have ongoing EV webinars. We have a couple more coming up in September. They are up on our events page, which I will be putting in our chat soon. And then our newsletters, if you sign up for one of our programs like today, you will automatically be added to our newsletter. We will let you know when campaigns are live, so it's good to know. You can always unsubscribe if you do not want to be part of our newsletter. I, again, would like to thank everybody for attending this webinar, and I'd like to thank our sponsors as well. Wherever you are in your journey to an EV, we're happy that you could make it. I hope it was helpful. If you can make the switch to driving electric now, especially during these amazing campaigns, we're here to help. The sooner the better. If not, our ask really is if we could have your support by pledging to make your next car electric. And our biggest ask really is please don't buy a new gas car because it will be on this earth emitting emissions and pollution for the next 12 to 15 years. And we really need to stop doing that as quickly as possible. If you're interested in a used EV, one of our partners, eMotion Autos, is one that we recommend, and I'd love for you to talk to them. It's a little bit of a longer buying experience. It takes a few weeks. They go out to auction to find the exact used EV that you're looking for, whereas if you were to go to a dealership, you would be able to purchase the used EVs that are on their lot, which may not be as great a selection. We support all ways of getting EVs, so however you get an EV is great for us. And, during the months of August and September, we are offering these exclusive discounts, so we think now is really a great time to get an EV. So signing up on our website to be contacted with Cartelligent is the way to go. So again, I would like to thank you all for attending this webinar. Thank you for your interest in going electric. I hope that you will sign up for our discount campaign September or August.